Hi everyone, am I audible to you all? Okay, good. Thank you so much for joining the call. And I'll be taking you all through the some of the guidance documents, guidance for the pharmacy, and what are the opportunities that you have for the career? Yes, which we scheduled and planned for. So during this time, if you have any questions or concerns, please raise your question through the chat box, not directly to me. Please put everyone in the meeting so that others also will understand your questions, what kind of questions that you have, so that I can answer to everyone all together. And yes, as per my understanding that you all from the pharma background, whether it is B Farm, M Farm, Farm D Farm, or any other pharmacy courses. And so I'll take you through the couple of the courses and a couple of roles, the jobs in the research, and then I'll take you through that. What are the course that would help you to get into these roles? But before that, let me give you a proper understanding on the necessary of this webinar. So once you join a college or before you complete a course, you always get a thought. You always think that where do I land my career after my education, or what should I do after my career? That's what everyone's concern, and that's what everyone the doubt, right? So now that is where I come here. I'll make sure that you'll understand some of the aspects. Even a few years back, maybe some 8 years back, my thought was same. Where should I start my career, and what should I do to for the future? Then started working as a microbiologist, and I got an opportunity to work in the clinical trials after spending almost 2 years of struggles. You see that when I wanted to join the when I tried to attend my first interview, the I only got 30 minutes of interview time, and you all can see my screen. Can you please confirm? Good. So now got an opportunity to attend one of the interview, and when I attend the interview, they asked me many questions, and they even asked me, why did I choose even this role? Why did I choose this role? What is the requirement of it? Your education background something different, and the way you would like to move your career is different. They asked me why. I never had a reason that why I was choosing a career in the clinical research. And the second question was from the interviewer was departments. Do you have any
Um,
the course or the trainings that you have to even get into these roles? I said no. Then I even asked, what is the requirement of doing the course to get into this job opportunities, especially in the clinical research? Then I've realized after 5 years, I've realized what was the requirement, because during the training, we would be teaching that what is the clinical research, what is the data management, what it is. That's fine. That is a later thing. But how do you choose your career? How do you choose your role? That's where something everyone needs in a help in the during education, during the our college timelines. If you look into my department, some of my departments in the company where I'm working, out of 100 people, 100 out of 100 people in one department, 85 people will be from pharma background. That is M Farm, Farm D, B Farm, D Farm. What is so different that you are doing? And what is so different that you are seeing that in terms of having this role? What is the difference that you are making having this pharma background in the industry, like a clinical research or any industry related to? Guys, can you hear me clearly? guess, can you hear me very clearly? Please confirm.
Sir, voice is breaking, sir.
My voice is breaking.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Charger. Okay, wait. I'm just trying to change the place so that choppy sound. That's good. Um, just give me 1 second of time so that I will change the place. Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, sir.
Good. Thank you so much for confirming. Hope my choppy sound gone. Good. Others, can you confirm if you can hear me very clearly?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you so much. So I was trying to tell you people that the pharma background has everything. You know what is the side effects, what are the adverse events, what is the medication, what molecule does, what chemistry does, what physics does, and you have different specializations in our pharma background. In the pharmacy, you read many subjects that related to a human being health, that related to the human being health care. Having said that, this knowledge is required to do the research. So if you ask me that, so what should I choose my career in the after maybe of my education? If you ask me, I would say the clinical trial. The clinical trial is a big department. It's a ocean, or it's a complete earth, I can say. How you have different countries, different places. In the clinical trial, there are many departments. You talk about research and development, you talk about the production, pharma production, you talk about the data management, medical coding, statisticians, everything starts from the trial. But what are you asking, sir? What are you telling us about the clinical trial? Why? If you see that the clinical research has done a greater part in our life. If you see the COVID vaccination, which given us a complete relief from the COVID by have improving our antibodies. If you see the vaccines, the medication, that every medication that you see in the market is coming after a clinical trial. It's a big department. From these departments, there are many other departments, like whatever I said, right? Data management, biostatisticians, and the pharma development, artificial intelligence in the healthcare, and and many other departments. So now, even if I name it, you can see the drug regulatory affairs, the production management, quality controls, recombinant DNA technology, the next generation sequencing, computer aided drug design. Everything is going to end by developing a medication. Instead of adding, instead of being a part of it, why don't you become a sole responsible for it? That's what the clinical trial works for. The clinical trials, that something helps the patient to get the medication in the market. So what is a trial? It's an observational study and every new drug to identify every safety and the efficacy of the drug. And it's tested the human being and tested on animals first, that is during the clinical trial phase. Then it will go to the human being trials in the human beings to release the drug into the market. Now, how many phases it can to that? The entire billions, that means thousands of the crores every month, or lakhs of the crores every year flows through these 4 phases. You might think, sir, I'm interested in the pharma production. Sir, I'm interested in the artificial intelligence. Sir, I'm interested in the clinical research. Sir, I'm interested in the clinical drug regulatory affairs. Everything should go from here. Everything should result from these phases of the trials. How do you do the fast the clinical trials? How do you fast the regulations that comes to regulatory affairs? And how do you ensure to find the adverse event, that is pharmacovigilance? And how do you the management of the data, that is a clinical data management? So that means the clinical research is a big ocean which combination of many seas, which combination of many departments. If you ask me, sir, which department I'm eligible for, you don't have to worry about it, because you are 100% eligible for all the 100% roles that are available in the clinical research industry. And the clinical research happens in the hospitals, and there are like your parents pays the money to you, to go for colleges. Your professors teach you for a better life, better career. Same way, the sponsor company pays money to do the clinical trial. The CRO company supports the clinical trials. The clinical trial happens at the hospital. You see that you have an opportunity in the hospitals, you have an opportunity in the sponsor companies, you have an opportunities in the contract research organization. Am I talking about the smaller companies? No, I'm not talking about the smaller companies. I'm talking about the billionaire companies. I'm talking about, if you see recently, the one of the US company, that is Bristol Myers Squibb, has invested 1,500 crores for the, that means 150 million dollars in Hyderabad to invest, which gives us 2,000 employees as a role, as a job opportunities. But how this coming? If you see one of the largest industry, if you ask me after the software, I can say the clinical research industry. And who are the actors that is in the clinical trials? The actors are the many people. You don't have to worry about the big hierarchy that we have here. But if I can just, navigate you people through that. You have the biotech companies, that is sponsors, pharma labs. You have a CRO companies, pharma labs, hospitals, and with that you have many roles. That is the data management. They do the one activity, and there are people who does the IRB activities. There are people who does the regulatory affairs. There are people who does the physician work, investigator, clinical research coordinator, all the responsibilities. Okay, now what are the different job positions available? Any job if I keep my cursor here, everything is responsible for it. You will be getting that. Okay, and if you see that, the data manager, the clinical research coordinator, IRB, drug safety associate, you are 100%. If you see this, kind of pharmacovigilance, medical advisors, drug safety, they don't even take other people like MPharm or sorry, they don't take people like MSc chemistry, BSc chemistry. They don't take that. They're specifically required pharmacy background. If you see the clinical data management team, they are more the opportunity wise towards a pharma background. Because if you ask me, sir, how do you know so sure? Because I'm in the industry for the last almost 9 years, 9 to 10 years, which helps me to give a proper idea that what is happening in the industry. And if you see the clinical trial, the organizations, you have project managers, you have associate research coordinators, and you have supervisors, that is clinical team leads, and the regulatory specialist, business managers, regulatory research coordinators, and the trainers, that is a clinical trial assistant roles. So having this many roles, let's look into each role, what exactly they do. By having this idea, then you will think, yes, this is something that I can do. This is something that comes through my education. You might be studying something different. You might not read about everything about the clinical trial. That's where this course, this training would help you, adding the armory, adding along with your education, adding the a biggest right, armor in the sense of the bullet jackets and all, they wear the army, right? So adding giving the additional benefits, giving the additional support along with our education, this course would help you to get the jobs. And That is a CRA is nothing but the monitors, and you also have the who verifies the sites to conduct the clinical trial. This is, if you ever ask me, so where should I choose my career? I always suggest you clinical research associate, one of the top paying job in the industry. And if you ask me the next job, what should I choose? Then I would say clinical data manager. They do wonderful job. Their roles are important in terms of collection of the data, tracking of the data, reviewing of the data, where of the clinical trial. Without this data, the drug will never release into the market. The drug will never release into the market. That's how it works. And what they do, they review the protocols and review the data management plan, which helps the to collect the proper data, accurate data. And later we have biostatisticians. Statistics, you know, right? How many patients to be collected, a vital part for how to conduct a clinical trial, how many patients to be involved in a clinical trial. When I say that the COVID vaccination, for the COVID vaccination, 40,000 people we added. But who suggests to add this many people? The biostatisticians. And once the clinical trial has been completed, the biostatisticians will do the analysis using the tools and help the drug to release into the market. The regulatory affairs specialist. If you ask me third role, where should I choose my career? I would say the regulatory department. If you have at least 6 months to 9 months of experience, your package will go to minimum 9 lakhs, minimum 8.5 to 9 lakhs. That means it gives you almost 65,000 on hand. The regulator is one of the leading role that we have in the industry, along with the other roles. What they do, they're simple. They make sure that their activities related to the regulatory approval for the new products in the different countries. And next is the drug safety advisors, PharmD, and PhDs, MD degrees, PharmD, MPharm, are all the applicable for the drug safety. Why I mentioned specifically usually requires, because at any cost 100% they need the people who are having the pharma background. And the next one is the pharmacovigilance specialist, who will ensure that, no, what is a pharmacovigilance? If you ask me, the pharmacovigilance is nothing but the people who assess the risk of the once they got an approval. Let's say that vaccine reaches the market. Due to vaccine, what are the side effects the patients are what are the side effects the patients are getting, and how does it impact in the patient life, and how it is impacting the public health, and which can kill a company, which can provide a lot of money to the company also. So let's say that the drug releases the market, and that is the reason people say that dying with a disease unavoidable, but dying with the wrong medication unacceptable. Every person who is involved in the clinical trials, who is involved in the clinical research, you name any role that you know of, everything something talks about how do we release a better medication to the market. And the medical writer, yes, kind of boring one, but one of the interesting one in terms of the career growth, where they will write the protocols. If anyone has interest in the writing, then you can choose the protocol writing, the study reports, investigate brochures, and product monographs, marketing brochures. They also produce the educational materials for the slide kits, used for the training doctors, nurses, for the protocol in the clinical research industry. Whatever the documents they prepare, entire the clinical trial, people who are involved will be used at the global level. So other role will be having a CRC. If anyone interested to work in the hospitals, instead of going for the clinical pharmacist, or instead of going for the pharmacist, I request you to look for the hospitals who has the clinical research coordinator roles. But what are the requirements? The requirement is, if you ask me, the trainings, which I'll be explaining you all. So the major R&D departments that we have in the market is that, starting from the discovery in pharmacology, we have pharmaceutics, license, PK, marketing, planning, literature sources, regulatory, clinical development. All the roles are comes under the clinical research. All the roles comes under the R&D, pharma research and development. If you ask me, pharma production development, it required a product that can only come after drug release into the market. And if you ask me, the recombinant DNA sequencing, it is only required when you want to do develop a molecule. If you ask me about the artificial intelligence in healthcare, how do we ensure how do we ensure to fasten the clinical trials? The governments are looking forward to have a better clinical trials, because after COVID trials, every sponsor company, every contract research organization is looking forward to have a better medication, better vaccination to release into the market. This is not said by me. This is said by Belinda Gates Foundation, Bill Gates. Also said that recently, Bharat Biotech chairman mentioned that for the next 100 years, we are going to lead the clinical research industry. For that, you all need to be prepared for that. India is now prime destination for the big pharma global clinical trials, where we are expecting to have a huge growth. If you ask me, can I get a job opportunities for India? That's what you shouldn't be having that question whether you're going to have that opportunity or not, because we're expecting $3.15 billion. $315 billion means 1,000 million, oh, sorry, 1,000 millions means almost 2,000 crores in India. 3.15 billions means almost lakhs of the crores. That means for the next couple of years that India is planning to get these many companies. That has happening actually. There are many companies that recently landed in India after especially the COVID hit as every person in the world, because it costed us 14 trillion. That means 14 lakhs crores. That 14 lakhs crores that we spent for the healthcare. We spent for the hospital bills. There are many things that happen. And so what are the roles that I have? Where are you going to choose your career? Where is you going to start your career? If you ask me about the roles, that it starts from the CDM, that is trainee level. The trainings level, it will be almost, you can say that, you can earn starting from the 40,000 salary. Recently, I placed many people who just started getting almost, 40,000 rupees in the starting itself. It can be more, it can be little less. Why? Because it based on your performance. And the clinical data management also have the programming skills and the coding skills. It also has the statisticians details. And what is the next R&D? If you can see many roles, it's just you're not going to stop with the CTA, because that is a starting role. And if you ask me, your role, if you want to ever choose a career, please choose with the clinical trial assistant, clinical research associate. That lands your career in a better shape. And the regulatory you have, the QC you have, that is a quality assurance for in R&D side, that is pharma production side, where you can just there are company like Syngene, Biocon, and there are many companies who hire specifically for the quality assurance and all. And the pharmacovigilance, yes. So clinical data management and clinical research and pharmacovigilance and the regulatory affairs, the 4 courses, 4 job opportunities that you can try if you want to have for the specific future that you ever want to see that. And but what are the skills that I wanted? Fine, I've said many roles, and I've said that there are many opportunities available. That's fine. Opportunities are there, but what should I do? Are you the consistency learner and the quick learner, exploring mindset, communication? Yes, you all can do better job. Better, you all have the those roles and the responsibilities. You all have those, skills. But however, the only thing that important thing that the every pharma industry, every CRO company is looking for that. Do you have enough theoretical knowledge to get into these roles? Do you have an understanding what is the clinical research? Do you have an understanding in the clinical trial? Do you have understanding on what is a schedule Y? What is a coding? What is a pharmacovigilance? What is the regulatory affairs? What is the FDA does? What is the CDSCO does? Do you have understanding on that? What is electronic data capture? At least basic idea that helps you all to have a better future. And that is where that comes from, that idea here. Right? So what is the revenue? If you, fine, I have a course, but what is the growth that we have? You are saying the roles, that's fine. You're saying us to take this, these are the roles that we have, these are the courses that we have. But what are the revenue? If you see the revenue of the worldwide pharmaceutical market only in 2021, only for the pharma production, pharma medication, $1.42 trillion. Okay. And $1.142 trillion. That means just, lakhs of the crores only for the pharma. But however, what about the oncology? What about the ophthalmology, eye related? What about the central nerve systems? What about the neurological issues? What about the cardiology? There are many therapeutic areas which helps the patients to have a better medications, better vaccines, and imagine about their sales. And the revenue share of the North American pharmaceutical, there is 49%. And imagine that how it about India. India is growing so much, even not just buying the medication, but also proving the clinical trials conduct. And if you see the top 5 pharmaceutical companies globally, Johnson Johnson, Roche, Pfizer, Novartis, Merck. I just said globally, but all these companies are situated in India. Every company that I'm listed here is in India. As I mentioned, right, India is a big global hub to perform the clinical trials. What are the guys? Someone is drawing on the screen. Please do not do that, please. It really disturbs others. Please don't do that. The advantage of India, that cost efficiency, economic drivers, policy supports, incoming investments. These are things that helping in India to have the better medications, to have a better clinical trials, better opportunities, helping the team, helping the many people to have better opportunities in the career also. And if you see the top 15 pharmaceutical companies, it's all found the started by Indians. You can see that the Sun, Pharma, Arabindo, Cipla, Dr. Reddy's growing like anything and having the multiple opportunities. And also that in order to have the better understanding, in order to understanding that, this also helps to people that the better opportunities. You can see the Biocon, Pyramid, and Wokha, Divis, Abbott, Toronto, Arabindo, Lupin, all investing billions of the dollars that helps to bring the medication, very fast in the trial. And what are the other companies that I can say? I could only put one slide. If I put every company, sponsor company, every CRO companies, I need another 10 slides like this. Right? So it helps me that you can see the many companies, but moreover, you can see somewhere here the TCS, Wipro, Cognizant. You might think, sir, why are you saying about the software companies? Because even recently the sponsor the companies like software companies like a TCS, Wipro are coming into the clinical research industry, helping the people, helping the fast in the clinical trial, right? So now it is also helping the people that to have a more job opportunities also. Along with that, there are hundred plus or 1,000 plus companies are situated or distributed into many parts in India. If you see Syneos, or if you see PPD, nothing but Thermo Fisher Scientific, if you see IQVIA, the PPD, these companies are there in 5 states in India: Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore. You might think, why one company distributed into many parts of India? There are almost hundred of companies are listed in many states in India. Why? Because they want the people who can do the job well. They want the people who can deliver their requirements. So which means wherever you're situated, you can say situated in Mumbai, Kolkata, Gujarat, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, any state you say, there's always an opportunities. Especially after COVID, you all be getting the work from home. I mean, that's what I think. But however, guys, don't drop, please. It's like just stepping. But what is the requirement that you have? The only requirement you say that the courses like clinical research, maybe you can take note of it: clinical data management, pharmacovigilance, drug regulatory affairs, the and artificial in healthcare. Maybe that is least I can say. That's not so now. Maybe for now it's nothing. Maybe in future. But apart from that, these are 4 courses that would help your career like anything. Nowadays, every person they attend the interview, they are at least expecting some knowledge that what before they go for the role. For example, if I've been called as for the pharmacovigilance, do you have at least minimum knowledge? What is the pharmacovigilance? What are the systems? What are the the systems that you would be using? And these are the parameters which help that for you to get into the better better opportunities in your career. So that's about me from my end, and then we will use the next couple of minutes to take questions from your end, and to clarify your concerns and the questions. But what I can tell you people is, do not hesitate to ask any questions, because at the end it's our career that you would like to know more about what course you can be taking. The floor is yours now.
Mr. A.K. Singh.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Dr. Sanawalla, Principal, Lokman College of Pharmacy.
Hi, please tell me.
Hi. Have you educated the students of medical coding?
Okay, the medical coding, if you ask me, that would be the last preference that I can say. Why? Because what happens the medical coding, if they choose the ICH, the guidelines one, there will be an exam where 90% of the people cannot clear that exam at all. That helps so terrible. But however, you can still get into the medical coding, but not so many opportunities. Because one person,
What is been learned? What has been learned that right now the medical coding is in much in demand.
No. If you see, one medical coding person can handle almost 25 studies. Okay. But one clinical research associate can only handle 2 studies. You see how many the studies means one project. One study is equal to one project. The medical coding, what you see in the LinkedIn and the Google are not actual medical coding. They are into the Scrum Masters and all, which maybe to help the healthcare companies.
It's in a child stage. Do you mean to say it's child stage?
Yeah, and if you want to learn the medical coding, then you need to know
Yeah.
the dictionaries, ICH, the World Health Organization dictionaries, coding, you all
Okay.
should know. If the
Okay.
student is would like to learn such coding, that would
Okay.
help.
So what I want to say, even you can assist them in this program also.
Yeah, yeah, there is no doubt in that. It can be done.
Yeah.
But the
Let
whatever
me.
the
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me speak to my students. Students, good evening to all. If you have any questions or queries, ask Mr. R.K. Singh. Hello. Unmute your mic and ask one by one.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Right. Right. Come
so
on.
we have a questions. One for which job is for diploma of pharmacy. So
Okay.
yes,
Fine.
yeah, you will be getting an opportunities in the diploma of pharmacy. But what I suggest to you is, I think diploma means after your PUC or +1, +2, go for our higher education, at least bachelor's, because when you'll get the job, there is no doubt in that. But however, when you go for the further promotions and all, choose
पूरे बच्चों को
the
webinar कराना
education.
है।
They choose the
Yeah.
edu.
Okay.
They choose the education.
Everything applications.
Can you
ಯಶವಂತಪುರ ನಿಲ್ದಾಣ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಮುಚ್ಚಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೆಟ್ರೋ
can you
ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್
please
ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ
mute
ಪ್ರವೇಶ
yourself, please?
ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ.
उधर जाना।
Hello, can you please mute yourself? If
Sir, for MSc Biotech, sir. Hello.
Okay, I'm answering the questions. Can you please mute yourself for some time? Okay. And so go for higher education when you consider for the promotions and all, it would help you with the at least bachelor's. So the next question we have is for the microbiology students. So my question is which are the posts we can apply for it, and if you have any, what should we do to get that post? You have a clinical data management, you have a CRA roles. So whatever the roles that I've mentioned, except the drug safety associate pharmacovigilance, then you can go for all the roles. In order to get that, what is the difference between our education and the training? Because in education we would be teaching that what is required listed in the syllabus, but however, to get into the clinical research, you need the additional parameters of theoretical knowledge that comes with the training. So when you have these trainings, you will understand, you will add your knowledge of the training along with your education that helps you to get the jobs. It's same applicable to biochemistry, pharmacy, and every other people. And can I go for the clinical research after B pharmacy or degree of the M pharmacy? The B pharmacy or the M pharmacy both are suitable for the CRA role. There is no doubt in that. Yes, B pharms for freshers are eligible. Two streams is masters, and because freshers are not preferred much. See, it's not about the freshers. Everyone started the career with the pharmacy only. The pharma. If you see one of my the team, they've taken almost 80 people out of 160. 80 people are freshers only. Out of 80, 70 people are the pharmacy only. There's no doubt in that. Pharmacy people would get eligible or not. It's all depends on that how you perform the interview. That is the reason people will think without having the theoretical knowledge of the clinical research, we go for the interview and we say there are no much opportunities. No, it's not the true. Yes, it's same for the MSc Biotech. So please provide the specific course for the medical coding. Yes, the coding, the course name itself medical coding. That would help you. However, for course related activities like what are the courses, availability, fee and all, we'll get to know later. Good. Any other questions? What are the job opportunities in the pharmacy? Many. If you ask me, 100% the job opportunities, whatever I mentioned, right? Starting from the clinical research associate, clinical research coordinators, pharmacovigilance, and the medical coding, the pharmacovigilance, and the clinical data management, biostatisticians are all eligible for by PharmD people. What extra things we should do interview benefit? Learn the course. That is one of the high benefit that you're going to have. That makes you different than others. The person who has more in the person who has the training knowledge will get more opportunity than the person who do not have. Same with whatever the opportunity that I mentioned by MSc biotechnology, chemistry, and microbiology applicable for that. Which coding? There is no different codings, guys. There is only one coding, that is medical coding. Any other courses needed for the clinical research to be formed? No, you don't need it. The clinical research training. So if you want to know artificial intelligence in the healthcare, the course would not help you, the little bit of course, the 6 months. If you want to know that artificial intelligence course, let me tell you about artificial intelligence first. The artificial intelligence is growing now. It's growing into more into the statistics way and the data science related one. And it's going to take another few more years, maybe 5 to 10 years to come to get the more results or the more job opportunities in the artificial in the healthcare. But however, currently the opportunities are little less.
But without class of medical coding, we can enter in the companies of medical coding on the basis of interview.
Can you repeat your question?
Without the course of medical coding, we can enter in the companies of medical coding on the basis of only interview.
No, that would never help you actually.
Hello.
Any other questions?
Yeah, am I audible to you, Mr. RK Singh?
Yeah, you are audible.
I'm Dr. Sanaullah once again. See, as you just told me to the students of my college that AI, artificial intelligence, yeah. So in another 5 to 10 years, it will be a boom.
Yes.
In job prospects. Why not my students get into this? And what platform you can provide our students to get into this?
Okay, so currently artificial intelligence required a lot of tools and the applications which every person can get aware of it. But to get into the job opportunities in the artificial intelligence is not so easy, because you need a lot of Python or the coding skills. Along with that, currently the clinical research industry are you please mute no. Okay, the clinical research industry is using the artificial intelligence only in terms of the clinical data science. Again, it's a huge department, I can say, of it. So in order to have more roles, more job roles, that like a CRA, CRC, PV, and the CDM, it takes another 5 to 10 years, because to even design the hierarchy, to design the diagram of the where each person would fit in, then it takes another this many years.
101% agreed. Now, if they want to achieve that height of artificial intelligence, yeah, they need to go with these basic courses what you are told right now.
Yes.
Until unless if they don't go to these courses, they can't cope up with the AI.
Because in industry,
they can't cope. So let us.
Hello.
Educate the perfect, yeah. Definitely AI will be easy for them.
Yeah, it would be, but it would be really difficult for them to find the job opportunities for now. In India, especially in India, it is going to take a time.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed.
Yeah, because in industries like the sponsor companies like, the Merck and the BMS, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, even they haven't started the artificial intelligence. They're still in the learning process only.
Okay. So what I want to say is that whatever the modules certified courses you are giving to our students, if they take up the courses, this will not give the base to the students for the AI.
Depends on the course that they take.
Are you catching my point?
Yeah, it depends on the course they take.
Yeah. So take them to that level. I want my students to be taken to that level.
Yeah.
I want to take the students to my level. How best you can offer the certified courses to them, so that it can be helpful for them in a future course, in their future life.
Yeah.
Are you catching my point?
Yes, I got your point.
My students on par with the current.
Yeah,
They should be on par with the current trends going on.
Yeah.
They should be on par with the going trends. My student should not be a layman in the field. Are you catching my point?
I got your point.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yep.
Right. Carry on.
Yeah.
Come on.
मैं ये में जाता हूँ और चढ़ने लग जाता हूँ
हाँ
मिल जाता हूँ
क्या?
यहाँ से मेट्रो के अंदर से जाता हूँ तो क्या करते हैं?
चलो ना उधर से छोड़ दो. चलो ना
अंदर ही
please. छोड़ दो.
एक बहुत दूर आता हूँ.
Come on, go ahead with your talk.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Students,
Any
if
other
you want to
question?
ask something, you can have
The duration fee structure will be shared by the coordinator. So you please wait for the details. And in the
Hello.
government, yeah.
Hello, myself Satish. I am the coordinator of the Learn to Upgrade. You guys have any query related to the course structures, course module, or related to the fee, you can contact us, our counselor, and you may contact tomorrow because the office timing is off now. So if you have any question related to the course or module or relevant to the fee structures, you may ask by your counselor only. You can ask here the question relevant to your career and the prospect of choosing module only. Hope you got my point.
Hello, Zain, bolo.
So Mr. Ram, you can you have to tell us like what the students can get currently, like what type of course they are choosing for their better career. That is the question.
Yes, that's what I was mentioning that. So as per my understanding and as per someone has to mute. So as per my understanding for the last 10 years in the industry, if you choose a career, if you choose the courses like clinical research, regulatory affairs, drug regulatory affairs, and the pharmacovigilance, clinical data management, you will land in the better career. That is 100% sure. So these are the 5 courses that I mentioned here. That will help you. Yeah, there is a specific course for the clinical trials, Sakshi, that which I mentioned a few seconds back. The interview tips, yes, we would be teaching you during the course also, like how do you crack the interviews, what are the job, kind of job opportunities that you would have, and what kind of, the, understanding that you should be having before you give any interviews.
That's good. Student, do you have any other questions? Do you have? You can ask, Mr. Ram. If you still have any question, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Okay.
Actually, ये front gate पे.
अच्छा मानो.
How will you course teach us with the current trends in the industry? So yes, we would be using all of our latest trends and the latest important information. What is the latest requirement from the industry? We will be using the same knowledge and teaching you all. If you ask me, I've done a mistake in my career a few years back, not choosing any career because back then it was costing me almost 1.8 lakhs to do a course with the clinical research and CDM. Then I was like, I couldn't pay the money, and it took me 2 years to get into clinical trials. Today, every pharmacy background person, every biotechnology, microbiology, having a regular course, they will be getting the jobs in the clinical research industries. Pharmacovigilance, which course we can do? PV course only. There is a PV course called PV, pharmacovigilance.
Which is the best institute for that course?
Learn to upgrade. Okay, any final questions? Okay, for any questions related to the money, the duration, fees, what are the courses available, duration, details of every course that I've mentioned, please reach out to the counselor tomorrow. They will provide all the details. So the courses, the clinical research, clinical data management, pharmacovigilance, medical coding, clinical data management, drug regulatory affairs, and regulatory affairs. And along with the artificial intelligence in the healthcare, if you are interested. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for giving an opportunity, and wish you all the very best. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a nice rest of the day.